It's 10 o'clock. This is the Gillum County Court's regular meeting, July 2nd. We're hearing Condon today. Meeting's been called to order. A quorum's been established, and we need to have the flags saluted this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, are there any additions or revisions to the agenda? Okay. All right, we have correspondence and public comment. Individuals wishing to address the county court may do so at this time and at other times throughout the meeting. Speakers are asked to raise their hand, to be recognized by the chair, give their name and city, and limit their comments to 3 minutes. Catherine Greiner has signed up for a public comment. Just come up here.
Morning.
On 6.2, you have economic development incentive funding for an IGA with the city of Arlington. And under it, one part of, sorry, oh, is it 6.3?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I want to make very clear to start off this is that I have several questions about this line item, but I am in favor of all economic development, whatever end of the county, whether it's in Condon, Arlington, Lone Rock, Mayville, Micalo, anywhere. I am in total support. But I do have a couple questions on that, and I can either answer them now or when you go over that. But my question one, is this a new program for Gillum County? I also want to know who is eligible to apply for this program. How is this program funded? Are there limits to requests, or what dollar amount is available? Can this program be paired with other county grant programs? Are there any follow-up requirements to Gillum County, such as project approval of what you have, quarterly reports, any of that? And also too, it's kind of vague of what fits the definition of economic development for this particular program. I know without the strategic plan, I'm guessing is still in place, but I don't know if any of, I just need a definition of what is going to be applicable under this particular program. And what is the term of the agreement or length of the program? And the IGA that you have before you today does not state a term. And I know it's up for discussion, but those are the questions I have. And so I'll be interested to know, because again, we have a couple projects coming up. One is a housing project. The other is we have 7 acres of industrial land. But I also want to make sure that Lone Rock and the incorporated areas in the county also have the ability to apply for the funding also. So is it new? I mean, that's my big question. Is this a new program? And is it going to be for everybody?
Thanks. Okay, is there any other public comment? Okay. The treasurer's report is in your packet for April of 2025. Are there any questions about that? It's just a.
No, I
Okay.
I said that one to discuss with you real quick,
All
but
right.
that's fine.
Summit Springs capital investment grant request. Hannah Bass, are you online?
I am here online.
Okay.
I am coming to the court today. Our memory care heating and cooling system has gone completely out. Jameson and Marshall does have us connected with some of their equipment right now to keep the facility cool clearly for the residents, but the whole units are going to have to be replaced, and it is a $30,000 project. So I'm reaching out to the court to see if we can do something with the grant guidelines for the capital investment. I do know it's not open till September. However, we have an immediate need.
Okay. Thank you. One thing that we could discuss is opening up the grant, capital investment grant now. so that we can help with this emergency situation.
Or responsible,
What was that, Brooklyn?
or funded school. I think those are your two options, so open up for everybody or just allow this one-time application.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because when we did our guideline updates, we said, you know, we have an emergency situation that falls outside of the 2 dates that we set, which was September and January, to come to the board and ask for his thoughts.
Okay.
From there to, so I think we're Chris's options, we're able to open up for everybody right now for, I don't know what the thought is there, about weeks or. So that brings it down the application.
Or they just turn the application into you
Mm-hmm. Yes.
for the grant committee to review it.
I'm gonna ask Hannah, how long will your emergency fix that you have right now hold up? I'm just worried about your time frame.
I would have to speak with Jameson and Marshall. I don't know for
Okay.
sure how long, because it's I believe it's all their equipment. Donald has something going in there just to keep it cool. But you know, it has never been replaced since 2009 when the facility was built. So he said it is just time also, but I do have concerns because we're just getting into the heat of the summer.
Yeah,
So
right,
I just want to make sure that we can get this taken care of.
right. What about going with the emergency application in this one particular case and fund it pending the application being submitted?
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay, do we feel comfortable going ahead and funding it and not waiting the 2 weeks?
Well, I think that they should still, the grant committee, can you get together and review it, Rush?
Or with it being the holiday, I'm not sure, but. I've done it in the past, I guess, for you guys to approve project funding, within the grant line item, and then, once they submit their application, we review it. Back to you, because I guess that.
Yeah.
So
Are you comfortable with
it's
that?
working currently, right? It just is on a
Band-Aid.
borrowed time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But James and Marshall have a fix that they have put together for them temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you still don't know how long that'll last, right, Hannah?
I don't. I'm not sure. I'd have to reach out to Donald. But he's already been in here Monday morning first thing, and he's getting parts ordered. And I mean, we're
Okay.
gonna have to replace it no matter what he says. It's just a matter of funding where we're having some issues.
Let's try to make it happen.
okay. Okay. So we probably need a motion to allow a emergency capital investment grant application in this particular case, if that's how you want to proceed. And then,
Or do we just need to approve it once it's,
yeah, but we hadn't opened up the window because it doesn't actually open until September.
yeah.
So,
So do we just want to authorize it now and then approve it, or
whatever you choose.
I'm okay with whatever.
Pre-approval contingent on an application being submitted.
There you go.
Cause how much are they looking at?
30,000, is it 30 or below, or is it
It's-
around 30?
It's exactly $30,000, the invoice I have on my desk, possibly a few thousand more, but it is that $30,000 threshold for the capital investment.
Okay. All right.
So can we approve it pending the grant committee's review and
Yes.
approval?
Yes,
And that way we won't have to wait till the next court meeting just. in
Right.
case.
that would be the best way, I think.
Get it going.
And I will
Okay, I
get
moved-
with Brooklyn and I'll get the application done as soon as possible, whatever we need to do.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
I move to do approval of was it the heating and cooling system?
HVAC.
Yes.
for Summit Springs Village, pending approval of the grant committee. Yes,
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
okay. It has been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Okay, the consent agenda includes approval of regular meeting minutes and bills pending review June 2025. Are there any questions about the consent agenda?
I don't have any. Do you have anything?
no,
Okay,
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
second,
it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, consider approval of fiscal year 26 operational support for North Gillum County Health District. Would you like to come up? Or whoever is speaking for the health district?
I have to declare a potential conflict of interest and abstain from voting.
Okay. All right,
So not much has changed as far as, the original ask of the $305,000, operational support grant that was submitted on May 2nd. Was just temporary ask to be placed on hold, which we did that, I believe that was on May 21st. It looks like the board would like to move forward in, hoping that the operational grant this time can be put through. So what I would like to share is, yes, we are seeking the support of $305,000 for this fiscal year that just started July 1. The operational grant will enable the district to continue providing the vital 24/7 staffing for our emergency services department and of course the primary care clinic. The operational grant for the health organization will ensure that emergency medical services and primary care services continue to take place. And we know that in rural, those services are very much needed. With the support of the organizational grant, we can continue providing all these services and ongoing modernization, leadership, governance, and program implementation to reinforce the high quality of care we currently offer and continue to offer. This will enhance the well-being of the community at large, and we diligently strive to improve the vital services that North Gillum County Health District's EMS and clinics departments provide to the district, focusing on sustainability and optimal patient care. Always remains our priority. We have experienced a shortfall in the fiscal year 2020.
I'm gonna stop you for a moment. Let me shut that door. Hearing some background noise to make sure we can focus on what you say. Thank you.
But I think, so what we've experienced in our shortfall of income, which is leading us to the ask, is the sundown of the 2009 strategic investment program, which was happened in 2024. And of course, that was the Leaning Jupiter, the Willow Creek, and the Pebble Springs for a total of that was about a little over $84,000 that we did not receive in income that we were anticipating.
Doesn't that roll into property taxes?
It will roll into property taxes. It should be hitting us this year.
Right.
Is how I understand it with the research that I did. So, and then with that, of course, the little over 58,000, about 59,000 that is just being held potentially due to the appeal that's taking place for Pacific Core and Avangrid. So that decreased our income about 59,000. And then we did experience a shortfall in income, but that situation has been rectified, and in improving that to get the income back up where it needs to be, the district has made changes and put safeguards in place to ensure that billing and proper protocols will be met. Plus, in addition to that, are going to be increasing training for the community. So that's another source of income when it comes to ACLS and BLS training being offered to other businesses here in the whole county. And we are, as far as the rural health clinic, the clinic is striving to become a rural health clinic. At this time, it should be December 2025 that the clinic will reach their CMS federal certification to become an RHC. Every clinic around us is an RHC currently. And what that means to us is those Medicare dollars will basically double in revenue of what we are currently receiving. So I think that we have things in place to help our income grow. This is the first time that the health district has asked for any operational support to the county. And I am here today I know we'd asked to be placed on hold, and now I'm back asking that we're ready to move forward in hopes that that can happen.
Do you have questions?
Yeah, so I was just curious, you know, you have in your thing that you had, the budget shortfall was 236,000. So what's the additional amount for?
The additional monies,
Yeah,
we, in looking at what we're eligible for, I believe and working in that process and coming up with that number, I think it came to 236,000 is what our shortfall was. But looking at increases coming for the year and percentage increases that are taking place, whether it comes to be under the lines of fueling, electricity, all those things that tend to increase annually to support a business.
well, cause I was just curious if any of that, cause you got the 3 special projects.
Mhm.
So I didn't know if any of those were, monies you were.
The special projects grants have to do with improving the EMS quarters, so that we can change our structure, how it's set up, currently set up so that we can house people to be there 24/7. Then that was one of the special projects grants. The other one was to purchase 2 CAD systems, so there'll be a CAD system in each ambulance. And then the additional special projects grant is for the rural health certification, that fee to pay for the process of getting us, instead of it taking 3 years to get there, working with the company to help get us there sooner and within 6 to 9 months. And we have started that process working with health service associates.
Okay. We met with you.
Yes.
With the grant committee and we met with you and we went over questions such as your walk-ins. How are you gonna get that increased, so that your operations, so we don't end up here,
Every year.
every year. Because, you know, we all know that North Health receives a significant amount in property taxes. But you have the absolute right to apply just like everyone else does. But it did make me look at, you know, both clinics we have and see how the numbers work for them and what you're gonna be doing to market what you're doing so that your taxes and your clientele are supporting your business, the business end of what you're doing.
So,
Mhm.
one of the things over the years, I did not bring that with me, but, we have been, reporting every month the amount of services, the patient count, what services are being provided. Thanks to Danny, when he was on our board, saying, show us the numbers, I wanna see your numbers, I wanna see your productivity. And so that has continued. With that, there has been every year a significant increase in the numbers of patients that are seen at the clinic, as well as the other additional services that are there that weren't there before. In a primary care clinic, typical things that should be happening that weren't happening in the past that have also helped increase the numbers that we are seeing now have to do with doing your annual welcome to Medicare visits, so you have when you turn 65, your annual Medicare visit that needs to take place within the first 12 months. After that, it's a subsequent visit that's there for every year additionally. So that's something that's continued or been emphasized and grown that wasn't there in the past. Another area that has also taken place is for just your annual wellness visits for the commercial insurance, whether it is focusing on women or men, but the overall really focusing on those preventative services that need to be taking place on an annual basis, really tracking your diabetics, making sure that your uncontrolled diabetics are being seen every 3 months instead of every 6 months, which is increasing. And it's not about just having them come in because we need to increase the numbers. It's about providing better quality of care and helping them control their diabetes and keep it under control. Then you also have hypertension. So we have hypertension, people with hypertension, and tracking those patients and having them come in more regularly and screening them on a weekly basis. Same with our INRs. I think I've definitely seen a significant amount of numbers in office visits. Of course, another reason why is because Dr. McLennan is there. Dr. McLennan is there on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Joyce is there on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. They are 2 separate providers, but 1 FTE.
All right. Okay.
So just, I wanted to ask you, what did they put in place to help with the billing? That
So
wasn't being done before?
well, probably on that one situation to basically make sure that they are being reported, and there are two people's eyes that are looking at what's being reported, making sure that it is being turned in. The other piece of that is then the report is turned in, and then I receive something from quarterly. My report only comes quarterly, so I get to match quarterly what was billed versus the amount the services that we said we provided. Another thing that's been added is that Stacy, the interim EMS director, has been able to bring training in to teach them on areas that they can train and provide additional training. And so they've learned in other areas that maybe hasn't been being built in the past that they could have been.
So are you caught up on the billing? So for last fiscal year, you would have needed to this is on that EMS side. So have you received what you budgeted on the EMS side, and how short are you? Or if you
I
may
do
not have those
that right
dollars.
here. So I can tell you that budgeted last year for on the EMS side was $60,000. The previous year before that, we budgeted $85,000. And the year before that, I believe it was $70,000.
Okay.
This year, for the current fiscal year that just ended June 30th, they've received $39,000.
Okay, that's a good.
They were closer.
I mean, considering.
And so, those.
I think that, but you're throwing out budgeted figures and what.
No, and
what
so
did
I'm
you-
saying what was budgeted was $60,000 for this fiscal year that ended 2 days ago, and they received 39,000 of that.
Okay,
And that-
There's 20.
And so that's obviously the area that was affected by a shortage of income there. When you look at billing and what can be billed, there's timely filing, so you can have your date of service, something that doesn't matter what service it is, whether it's on the EMS side or the clinic side.
Right.
You only have a certain time that you're allowed for past timely filing, and then after that, it's unbilled.
Right. So then on the clinic side, are you on budget did you receive what you budgeted on the?
So on the clinic side, the clinic was budgeted to make, I believe it was 85,000, and we're at 107,000 something.
Okay. All right.
We have exceeded the budgeted amount for the last 3 years on the clinic side.
Okay, all right.
Substantial.
Do you think your staffing levels are appropriate for your income?
Well, you can look at, I will be honest, I don't actively speak on the EMS side, since I don't, I only handle the accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll for that side. What I can speak to, if you wanna talk about the clinic, when I started at the clinic in 2022, prior to that, I believe there were a total of 8 people on payroll for the clinic before I arrived. And we've been keeping it right at, well, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I say 4, there's 5 people, but out of those 5, 2 are 1 FTE. And for all the requirements of what is needed to meet the benchmarks that are required for additional funding from not only Medicare, but Medicaid, there are certain things that need to be tracked. There's the component, and it's not just this clinic, it's every clinic, on closed loop referrals, whether it has to do with labs, whether it has to do with referrals out. There's additional pieces that are part of that. So in primary care, when I look at the numbers that we have, I don't know how we could do more with less people, or do the same with less people.
And I do know in the future, when the Shepherd's Flat Wind project rolls off of SIP, you're gonna be a recipient of the tax revenue when that happens. So that's gonna resolve some of it, probably. I try to be cautious about that. You can always check with the Gillum County Assessor on any projections on that. But that'll be a few years. So.
Yeah, they're still not sure what that's gonna look like yet, so.
So what is the board situation currently?
Well, currently the board situation, in my personal opinion, isn't good. We had 3, 1 resigned, and then last month 2 resigned, so simultaneously. And I don't really have much of a comment to say to that, because I'm not a part of the why or what went down.
So are they gonna have to come to us and to get a third, to get a quorum?
Well, I looked up that law, and I was under that impression too, and I read about that. And it comes to a certain point that yes, they should go to the court to do so, but then there's another clause in it that says that whoever the board member is can appoint.
Oh,
Our legal counsel also has looked into that too, and we have a voted in position that will be sworn in. And that'll make a quorum, and then we have it advertised for people to put their name in, and I don't think it'll come to the court, but I think that within the next week and a half, we'll have a full board again.
We have so we have Brian Proctor will be sworn in, and that's probably taking place next week, so that gives us 2. And apparently, when you have a board of 5 in a situation like this, apparently 2 is a quorum. I was surprised about that, but
Yes, yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
he looked into that, so.
yeah, that was one of my conversations with
Okay.
Andrew as well.
Is this anticipated to be a one-time request? Just wondering about the future of.
So, on my behalf, that's how I look at it. To me,
Okay.
it's a one-time request
Okay,
because of what took place this year.
okay,
The district hasn't in the past, and when I look at the revenue, what's gonna be changing and taking place at the EMS department, what's gonna be happening with the additional income of the clinic. The only thing that could change that is something catastrophic.
okay,
Or, oh, we're gonna double
Yeah.
these wages and you're gonna get, you know.
okay.
Cause your certification, that should at least double, correct? Yeah.
And that should be in December.
So that's when the certification is received, and then from that point on, then we then will be billing under an RHC, which changes the reimbursement.
Okay,
So instead of with Medicare currently getting $45 for a visit, it's gonna be $139 for a visit.
Okay,
That would be significant.
And-
Guys.
okay.
Yeah.
So I would just say, I'm part of the ambulance in Condon, and I'm passionate about the public health, so I think that the healthcare and the EMS is important to our whole county.
I agree.
So,
I also think,
I-
sorry to interrupt, but also in Arlington, it's because of the freeway. It's really important, on the EMS side as well.
Yeah, we're down to the,
well, and I just sat through the middle of a wreck yesterday, so it's like, things they were lucky that nobody was hurt in that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
so, I just would hope that we ensure that in the future that, the ambulance billings don't get dropped and
yeah.
the board
I
be
think-
vigilant. I don't know if they get reports every month, but
They do and have been getting reports every month, on call outs. That's been going on for quite some time, and they can see there's a billing company that the EMS department uses. And so,
they've got to enter the run reports correctly.
I think they have a good
and they
system
do,
going now.
and they do, and they will, and I think I think Stacy will do a fine job
Yes.
down there.
Yeah.
yeah, the challenge, we're down to about 5 people on the EMS side as well. And we've been having to hire people for 2 or 3 years to try to come in and help fill voids.
So
So,
people have been scheduled to come in on weekends to cover when there hasn't been somebody able to cover. And that's been happening for a couple of years now.
And just, looking in, I think we're close to being done, but just looking over your finances, it just looked like there was eating into the cash reserves that caused some of this too. I don't know if I'm interpreting it correctly. Expenses outweighed revenue.
I wouldn't say that, so if we wanna speak to what we spent, at the clinic, happy to share that information. There was the old boardroom and a catch-all room and the old chart room that was, remodeled in 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. That was at a cost of $37,000. And then one of the requirements to become an RHC is that you can't have rips in your carpet, gouges in your walls, paint being chipped off the wall. Things had to be cleaned up.
Okay.
So obviously the carpet, there hadn't been anything done at that clinic since in everything I could find since the Carmen Bronquist was there. And so I think she left, I'm gonna guess sometime maybe 2013, could have been 12, I don't really know. I can share that with what was there, nothing had been done, and I did come on board in May of 22. And in working with the Oregon RHC and learning how that could really benefit a rural community, income wise, and offer more support. Knowing that that was one of the areas that needed to be taken care of, so $58,000 was spent to renovate, and I say new flooring and paint, a facelift, and on the clinic side, so the exam rooms, the whole area. So yeah, there's been some money spent
Yeah.
there over the last 3
Yeah.
years. But we've also spent money. We've purchased 3 ambulances in the last 3 years, or not 3 years,
Oh,
since
okay.
2014.
Okay.
2014, we purchased an ambulance. 2018, we purchased an ambulance, and 2024, we purchased an ambulance.
And those were all on your own expense.
So the last one, we purchased and we took out a loan,
Oh,
and there was a loan
Okay.
additionally for when I walked on board, and that loan has been paid off
Okay.
since I've been there.
okay.
And we've done some renovations down there. We put in the EMS department, money was spent talking about if we're tapping into our reserve. So money was spent to put in a a shower and bathroom so that they could shower down there after a run. I don't really remember the amount of that.
Okay, that's fine.
I know about $14,500 was spent on a new stairway with railing so that they could access up above
Mhm.
and use that for storage. So yeah, we have spent some money,
Okay,
but
all right.
I don't think that it's been excessive in the, if you look at the time of what's been done and what's not been done, and you look at that whole picture.
All right,
Sorry, I have a question. How did you guys approve your FY 26 budget?
It was presented at the
What was
district,
your total fund that you guys adopted for your efforts?
2,055,000.
And was that pulling from your guys' reserve when we were there? You had like a budget proposal
yeah,
And it was moving that over.
and that's what you guys ended up adopting, or did you have this?
They did a resolution and brought it over.
okay. I do want to just, one point of clarification, when the SIP funds end, the very next year you're getting taxed. There's no gap in time. So
I have
again,
done some research.
yeah,
on that.
they're very helpful at the assessor's office to help you understand. It's hard to understand, and I know it's
It's a learning thing for
foreign.
everyone.
Have had to do it myself, so I understand that. So, but you did bring up the appeal issue, so yes, that is a contributing factor. But I just want to make sure you were clear that loss of SIP doesn't mean loss of
Funds,
revenue.
no,
Yeah.
it will circle
Mhm.
back around. It just, that's the year that it hit with two other things. So
Mhm.
it
Okay.
kind of made an
Yeah,
impact.
okay. Commissioner Watkins, do you have any?
Yeah, I don't have any. So I think Brooke said there's 100 and something left in the operational.
We kept it at that, the $1 million cap with what we've already funded. The amount that remains from that $1 million is 106,000.
So the additional would need to come out,
From
the
cap.
additional 200,000 would need to come out of the capital
Capital.
projects.
Capital projects, but it'll be 1.8 million.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's gonna go down, and we need to make sure the public's aware of that too. We may not use it all, but it's there for those types of projects, so. Are you
well,
comfortable with?
I want the, your clinic and the ambulance service to be healthy, so, I move to approve the recommendation that the grant committee made of 305,000 for the North, Gillum Health District.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion?
Nope.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
For having done so, I just want to remind us that, anyway,
Yes.
I just want to remind us that, the clinic fulfills the health district's mandate in and of itself. The ambulance service that we provide is an elective.
Yes,
Did we not do it, the county, it would fall upon the county. to
Exactly.
provide that service. And given the increased cost of the apparatus and of labor, and I don't know if the situation is the same in South, perhaps, Commissioner Watkins
Mhm.
does know. But it seems to me like the county might want to incentivize
yeah.
those
Mhm.
two districts for their providing a service
Yeah,
that would otherwise fall upon the county.
that's true. Mhm. Thank you. Yes, clinics, very important and very important in rural communities. It's their lifeline. And so we understand that. Also, the ambulance, which is very different service on the north and the south end of the county because of the demographics, the way the land lays, Condon's landlocked and then you have a freeway in Arlington, you have industry in Arlington. So it's
So we
it's
have long
important.
transport times.
Yes,
And you
and
can't,
weather.
And no good way out of Condon.
they're both important and but you can't sit and look at a
Mhm.
fact sheet and go, so I appreciate what you have to
Mhm.
say, because it's very true and real. You can't look at a sheet and go, oh, well, this department made this much money and this department made this, because they're total two different baskets. The services provided over here
Mhm.
versus these emergency services, they are light years
Mhm,
apart
they are.
and both yet essential.
Mhm.
Well, but I would say they're interconnected too, because I would tell you on South County, if we didn't have a clinic that people that didn't feel well could walk into and see the PAs, we'd be transporting everybody out, and then our ambulance system would be overwhelmed.
Yes,
And very true, I agree.
and we also have Summit Springs Village, which is a link. They have to
Yes.
have the health care for that facility too. So we understand countywide that it's very, very important.
It's getting tough to cover those services with just volunteers as
Mhm.
we go on. every year.
Incentivize,
Yeah.
he said. But we have to do our due diligence when grant request comes through and ask questions and make fair decisions.
Well, and I
Mhm.
think that it's only the right thing to do to ask questions. It's the
Mhm.
only right thing to do to dig in.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't ask questions, then we all sit back and just think a certain thing is
Yes.
taking place. And
Right.
most of the time, it's not. It's,
Mhm.
so it's like giving the opportunity to look at the whole picture and see why we are where we are, why we need to be where we need to be, and what changes we need to make. And I think that
Yeah.
we're doing it.
I encourage any incentive ideas as well for EMS. Yeah, it does fall on us if it falls apart. We don't want it to
Oh,
fall
yeah,
apart.
we'll be paying for somebody to come up here.
Yes, so ideas before we have a problem is when we need to start talking about them.
There was a time, some of you will remember, when the health district did not provide ambulance service.
Mm-hmm,
There was a real scramble at county court as to how
Yes.
that void was gonna be filled.
right,
We covered it from Congress and Boardman.
For a while.
Yes.
The fire department did it for a while, and then it came back to.
Well, I don't know about the fire department, but I know that we went down there, cause a lot of times we got turned around and we get halfway there
But it
and
is.
turn us around.
thank you. Thank you.
You do.
Yes, I just want to clarify that we voted.
Voted, right?
I want to clarify that we
Yeah.
voted,
Yeah, I
okay,
did, yeah.
because immediately there was a question right after.
I make
so-
a motion, you said.
I know I seconded it, but it was the
Right.
vote itself.
I said it for the 305 that the grant committee recommended.
Yes,
That
yes,
wasn't our recommendation.
correct, it was the full fund.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
sorry.
recommended it. So,
Everyone else ended up being full funded. Remember the recommendation was that everybody take a percentage cut. And then we didn't end up going.
Change that, because your motion was to approve the grant committee recommendation.
But I said the amount.
No.
Oh, I didn't say the
No.
305,000?
Okay,
Okay, okay,
okay, so,
I'm gonna rescind the last motion.
okay, motion's rescinded.
She said 300.
Now I'm gonna, I thought I did, but that's okay. Okay. I move to approve the grant amount of $305,000 to the North Gillum Health District. And for operational and the additional funds from the capital projects.
Okay. I will second the motion. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, that.
Thank you.
I thought you said the amount.
Okay. We needed that clarification anyway. All right. Update on the Brain Lab. Okay, so this has been a big undertaking. It's been actually quite enjoyable in parts to everybody work together on this. We're still awaiting the release of covenant from the federal government, and we're told that everything's there. All the documents are virtually approved. It's just a matter of waiting, and because of changes in the federal government, there's been some delay in just getting that release. OSU extent, we have everything surplus. OSU extension came and looked yesterday. OSU, it was the, not extension,
Science Department from Corvallis.
from Corvallis themselves came. They got held up behind the wreck that happened and had to go the long way around, but they came and purchased quite a few items and are coming back for more. So, and we're able to identify a lot of what was there. So we have a good momentum going on getting everything removed. Jordan Maley is going to be coming to get his wheat that he wants. He's been working with Daryl on that. And once that's removed from the Connex box, then we can move anything else into the Connex box that might be remaining before we decide what we're gonna do with the rest of it. But we have a good response, and then we can market it. The one thing I wanna, we touched on this, is are we comfortable running fiber around $5,000? I think it's, in my opinion, gonna help with marketing. Fiber's close. Are we comfortable with pursuing that?
I think we need it there.
Okay, me too. All right, we will pursue that then. And then we can start advertising that's available for rent, which is that release from the federal government. It's cleaned out. It's been, it looks pretty good, actually. Repairs have been made. Yeah. So I wanted to give you that update. Okay, new business. Consider approval of Murray's foundation system installation. They're a hotel, Dillon County maintenance.
Martin.
Good morning, I'm Daryl Hoteland, the Facilities Director, and I don't have the original letter from Murray's, but previously had a letter from them. I'm having questions and some worries about their leaking problem next to our bus barn, or about 20 feet from our bus barn. So I went ahead and took charge and tried to figure out a plan to see what's equitable for both of us, and if it's our responsibility or theirs. I contacted Terra Firma, which is a professional company that came out of Bend for no charge, to see what they could do with the problem. The letter that they gave me after the inspection and writing everything up was that after inspecting the entire building, it is clear that the age of the structure is the primary cause for water intrusion. However, the soil that had settled around the building was doing a good job of directing water away from the structure until the recent construction, which is our construction. Once the land was excavated, worked on, and backfilled, new routes for water found their way toward the building, resulting in the problem at hand. So I talked to John Murray, and the total project, minus the electrician and sump pump that he said he would pay for, is around $15,000. And we felt it would be a good agreement if we were to pay the down payment, which is half, just $7,645.04. And he would take care of the additional costs, and
that would be our only obligation.
that would be our only obligation.
It's the half.
Yes.
Are there any questions?
I didn't want to speak for the court, but I told him that's what I would bring to the court.
Right.
Felt it was reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
It was good support, thanks.
So we have something behind it, is that right?
Yeah, it's behind it.
Yeah.
It's the bus barn building that they're currently using.
Yeah, okay.
What Terraform is doing is basically it's a vapor lock system to create a gutter system, but on the inside of the building, that connects to a sump pump that goes into the city drainage, so they don't have the problems.
This has been kind of ongoing also. It's happened several times, I guess, or something.
Yeah,
There's
but
been fixes.
the current manager has been there 24 years, and she said it's really only been bad the last 4 or 5 years, which corresponded with when we did construction, so. But it's also getting an older building, So it's
And we
kind
had some rainy weather too, so.
Mhm.
but not a lot of snowpack. We had some rain.
But I think it's good to be a good neighbor, so.
Right,
Mhm.
I do too.
I would be open to the paying
We're gonna take that,
deposit.
Okay,
take that out of discretionary or,
yeah, we can take that to capital projects.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
So the total was $7,645.04.
Okay, so do we have, let's get to. $7,645.04, correct?
Correct.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I move to approve the Terra Firm Foundation System proposal as presented, and the county will pay the deposit amount of $7,645.04.
Okay,
Second,
it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank
Thanks.
you for your work
Thanks
on
for your
it.
time.
Good.
Carol.
Hope it's permanently resolved.
thanks for working on that.
Thank you. Okay, consider approval of road use access agreement with Port of Arlington, Amazon. Okay. So was provided, a agreement by JED with the Port of Arlington, to, forward to our legal counsel. And as you see in the briefing, the property recently acquired by Amazon from the Port of Arlington does not have direct access to a public right of way despite there being an existing road on the north side of the property. The buyer needs an easement to be granted in order to have access to the property. Our attorney has reviewed it and has provided his version of the agreement within your packet. Is Jed on the line, perhaps? No? Oh, yes, okay. Did you have anything to add to that from the Port of Arlington?
No, I don't have any to add other than the property is now owned by Amazon, and so the port would not be a party to this access agreement, but would be needed for this transaction to be completed.
Okay. So, pending Amazon's approval, because they haven't seen the changes yet that the attorney provided. Are we comfortable approving pending, subject to final legal revisions?
So it's just actually on the road itself, it's just the,
Yeah, there's a map.
And then they own this now. Amazon does.
okay.
Yeah, you guys just have property on the north side, correct, Jen?
What we have left is on the north side, yes, but that 30-acre chunk that Amazon purchased needs proper access.
Yeah.
And you said that it has to go back to Amazon's?
Yeah.
attorney? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna submit it, say this is our legally reviewed agreement and see what they say.
So should we
I'm.
table this until
We could do that.
Amazon gets
We could
done
do that.
reviewing it?
Yeah,
in case
is there
they
any-
make changes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, we could do that.
there could be a lot more to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might not,
Is this, what's the time frame? Is there any, urgency? Do you know?
I know that they wanted to get it underway promptly,
Mm-hmm.
just
we've
because they
done
have
all-
some upcoming investment decisions there.
Okay. All right, so they'll probably be motivated to get this resolved. So we'll send it on and, move we already have. And so are you saying, Jed, to not communicate with you on this anymore, go directly to Amazon?
Yeah, that would be appropriate, yes.
Okay. All right, we will send it on if we have not already done so. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
then do you have, can you provide us with your contact so we make sure it doesn't get stuck in someone's inbox? So we make sure it does get to the right, in the right hands.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. So we will table this and it will be forwarded on to Amazon for final approval of the county court at a later date. Thank you. Okay. 6.3 is an intergovernmental agreement proposal by the city of Arlington to utilize economic development funds to incentivize development of a property. So as you see, and I don't know, is there anyone from the city of Arlington on the line? Okay. Okay,
So is our legal counsel looked at this?
no, they need to look at this if we're going to proceed, but I wanted you to see it first.
Okay.
The one thing I wondered about it is, insurance and, you know, any liability that I guess if we're going to be doing something like this, I want to make sure that we don't have any. And it's just an idea, it's a concept. I think, allow the city of Arlington to speak to us if they would like to.
She's got an older version of Zoom.
Oh,
And some other analysts.
okay. Well, wait.
My.
Oh. We'll wait a
So
moment.
I think that Catherine brought up some good points about, you know, is this a program? Are we gonna put a line item in the budget that, you know, can promote the
Mhm,
housing
mhm,
in Gillum County? So,
mhm. With both cities, all three
Yeah.
cities, actually.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I, you know, kind of like the idea of doing something like this countywide. We have in the budget, you know, we hear talk of, we have the economic development fund, we need to spend it, we need to utilize it, we need to invest it and find ways to do so. So,
11 million unappropriated.
um,
I don't know.
So with some of the housing projects we've done before, how
it
does
is,
that work? Have you done any since you've been on here?
yeah.
Capital project.
Mhm.
Within capital investment grants.
Right, and yes, but also the Pioneer CDC,
Yeah,
we
we've
have the
given them
agreement
money.
with them,
It's like,
and we have given them money for housing.
yeah, cause I thought like in Arlington, they built a couple, or there was some incentive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the agreement a little bit to, upon city identifying suitable development and use and purchase prices proposed by developer, county should provide $200,000 in incentive funding, which to the city, and then the city will basically disperse it to the developer.
Yeah.
Basically, possibly.
Right.
Is it a one-time thing or?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This,
it wouldn't be that.
yeah,
She's declining to be.
Mhm.
Yes, because.
okay, she can't speak, okay. Yeah, we do have questions that we need to know what they're proposing. So they could apply for the grant and qualify.
Yeah,
based
I
on
know
the
we were
request.
talking about it, you know, extending an agreement term to be 2 years out or something, if they didn't have a property right now, but they wanted to come with a grant application in the fall and then have that agreement in place if a developer was to come in and then kind of dissolve that point of the cities, just that pass through to the grant program.
Mm-hmm.
So those previous housing ones, do you think they came out of like the
Yeah.
capital improvement grant also?
City came through capital, all leverage development came through capital.
Right, yeah. But I was just thinking of a couple houses that I know that they did in Arlington and, I
The
just-
school houses came through the capital investment grant.
right. I
But
just
the
thought- I
seed
thought-
money for the Pioneer CDC came through the economic enhancement ordinance, workforce housing. Okay, sure.
Let's see where it says housing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it for other than?
You guys hear me?
Huh?
Yes, Kim.
So Counselor Rayburn here. I can speak a little bit on our IGA. From my understanding, Judge Patnode, our President Ball had spoken to you about the IGA
Mhm.
potential of it.
Right.
And so that's how why it came about, because
Uh-huh.
the incentive for when a developer buys our commercial property downtown, that we could
Right.
offer them an incentive to
Mhm.
build there. They can't use the money to
Mhm.
purchase the property, but then they can use this money towards what they are building. And when we are selling that property, it's going to be pretty stipulated about what they can build there, but it benefits Arlington in a whole.
Mhm. So is it workforce housing? I mean, is that the proposal?
We're looking for either a business that will help downtown, or some sort of apartments or townhomes that are rentals, but we don't want to run rentals as a city. So we would like a developer to do it. And so that's why
Uh-huh.
we're coming for an IGA to offer them an incentive to build there, with a big stipulation of
Mhm.
having to build right away and not just sitting on our commercial property and nothing happening there. And they don't get any money until they start building it. And I think that could be worked out too, that until maybe receipts come in and it's reimbursement rate, or I'm not sure exactly what, I can't remember the exact details in our IGA, if that was even stipulated in there. But it's a
Mhm.
starting point to give to you guys,
Mhm.
because it's
Um,
based off of that, whatever conversation you and President Ball had.
Yeah, she just proposed this and an IGA came forth as a draft and here we are. So, but I did talk with her about the economic enhancement ordinance, because we have 20%, 20.5% that goes into economic development that we are
Uh-huh.
underutilizing.
Yes, and
So-
so our thoughts, like, because every time we have a town hall meeting or any kind of city meeting,
Mhm.
laundromat gets brought up. We don't have a
Mhm.
laundromat, the closest one is in Boardman, and every function we have, laundromats are mentioned. So maybe a developer put that on property, or some sort of rental housing, or a competitive hotel, or another
Mhm.
business for the citizens to utilize.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
more than one thing that they develop there, just things that the town needs, and the fact that they cannot sit on the property.
right. So if we,
There might have something like do in the small business
Mhm.
grants that.
Yeah.
Push to the chamber.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Housing building.
an incentive.
Small business.
And I do think that Catherine brings up a good point. You know, if we're gonna do something like this, is it available to both other cities? And if we did it, we could set an amount. And I just, you know, yes, I think that Commissioner Watkins is right. There is some underutilized funds in the economic development money that we receive from waste management that we need to put to work. And if we did that, could we set a $200,000 cap? Come to an agreement with the city of Condon, come to an agreement with the city of Lone Rock, come to an agreement with the city of Arlington for this year, and then each year reevaluate what that might be.
So these IGAs have never been done before?
Well, there's been agreements with Pioneer CDC, with MOU, with the Chamber of Commerce. All of this is driven by agreements to
Right.
disperse the money. So like the business development line
Yeah.
item, that goes to the Chamber of Commerce to an agreement with this. It's just passed through. So this would be similar to that.
Because between the, your workforce housing development at 8%, and then your economic development line at 20%,
Yeah.
that's 28%.
Right.
4 million and something, whatever. What is it, Brooke?
The economic development, that also covers our grant program.
No, Economic Development Fund is completely separate, and there's,
So what's that 20,000?
it just goes into a line item and other project development costs of $3.5 million is what was budgeted.
According to my math, that's 1.2 million.
So there's there's,
that could be put into.
right. Yeah, and I just think We could be
I-
looking for
where-
ideas
Where's
like
your
this.
golf course thing at? This could.
Fairway housing.
Yeah,
We just, actually, we're meeting next, the council is approving the final plat development tonight. We've got $100,000 grant from the state of Oregon to subdivide it, go through planning, surveying, and getting the original, that, but we already got grants from you guys, from the county, and to get the infrastructure to the line of the subdivision. And then, after we get it subdivided, then they'll decide how they want to sell the lots. And if we want to do something like a baseball field where we had some more, covenants on how it could be done.
Right.
I mean, so
but it sounds like, according to this thing from Arlington, it's more like giving incentives for people to come in and,
I think.
which would be different than what you guys got with the infrastructure and stuff.
Our incentive was, we have the infrastructure there and we sold the lots for a little cheap.
Right, that's the
Based
way
on
you
the
chose.
fact that they had to build within a couple years,
Mhm.
so they were going up.
So if we made it general, a general incentive so that you could tailor however you want to incentivize this opportunity for development.
I'm all for the economic development, but I'm
Mhm.
wondering. Obviously, I don't want to dictate what Arlington does or Lone Rock does or things like that.
Mhm.
I think it's awfully vague right now of how it works. It might just need to be tightened up,
Mhm.
like terms and things like that. I think incentives for business is awesome because,
Mhm.
again, the city of Condon has some industrial lands that,
Right,
we hopefully will work for the port and work through some
Right.
incentives on that. I'm wondering if the incentives need to go through one entity, but
mm,
I'm
Yeah.
also thinking $200,000 anymore
mhm.
isn't a lot to incentivize.
Well, no, but I'm thinking this year to get through, to make it fair, to bring up, to address your concerns and to get this taken care of this year and then reevaluate next budget year.
Yeah.
The project development costs that we adopted were 3.5 million.
Mhm. Yeah. Right.
Well, I think the big thing too is, like I say, this is kind of a time of an essence too, because we're so short of development up there with everything that coming in. It's like, I understand some of your concerns and they're valid concerns, but it's at the same time, I don't know. What's the best way to do this? Just kind of case by case right now? I mean.
Well,
we're-
I
we're-
think we make the same offer to the city and they propose something to us if it happens during this budget year. And then,
I mean, are we?
it needs to go to legal counsel.
Once again, are we talking housing or are we talking business development?
It sounds like from Kayla, it could be either,
Okay.
but the line item says economic development.
So
So,
this
housing
property
is
is
there
strictly
now?
designed commercial.
say it again?
This property that we're looking at to put it with is zoned commercial.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I guess my concern would be you guys said there's already been an entity, a single entity appointed to do that small business grant program, so I would just.
Yeah, but it's a different, we have an agreement with Pioneer CDC for, some of these other,
Yes.
so there's other,
Small business, I think if it was to be like workforce housing
Mhm.
specifically, but then if you pull in the small business. I guess I just would want all people at the table to know that you guys are going to have another fund line item for small
Mhm.
business development when we have a small business development.
oh, it would be for the city though. Yeah.
It sounds like the notice would give funds to a small business.
I guess this is
Yeah.
another example too of, I would like to see us try to come up with some way to where we just delegate so much money to the entities and
Mm-hmm.
let them deal with this. I mean, it's,
That's,
Chamber was, small business, private businesses, that goes off of you guys having to deal with that.
so much of our time is,
Information and all of the financials. And
yeah.
so that is other documents. I think if like what Grant's saying, if you push that to those entities, then they have agreements
yes,
with the.
I
private
know, but you're
businesses.
talking, I mean, you're talking about substantially more money with this than you are with that small business. part.
yes.
Yes.
I guess I
So-
don't want that program, if that is gonna be. Really good to have more possible money, I guess.
Yeah. Mhm.
Cities are already paid for those small businesses. They just take over that small business development. line.
Oh, the cities,
Or the-
yeah. Mhm.
Chamber takes over more.
Mhm.
From the projects.
Right, I see what you're saying.
My only concern is, and I'm looking out for Arlington, that if their developer doesn't need all the 200,
Right.
you've now tied it to one.
Mm-hmm,
So if you're going to, in the city of Arlington, only uses 100,000 to entice this developer.
Right.
Which once again.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
But I
And
think-
probably be broadened so that if they have another piece of property.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's like, we keep
yeah.
expanding and trying to write things, and
Mhm.
it's an incentive for somebody to come in and get something going because of the shortage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree, but what I'm saying is, this is tying Arlington to one. piece of
Yeah,
property
and all you'd have to do is take the
Yeah.
legal description out and say any available property.
And have it time.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because who knows, that's a good point.
Yeah, like a generic economic development IGA that hits Condon and hits Lower Rock and hits Arlington. It's not specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's far off to just say, here's something for the cities to make their own choices. Here's a way for the cities to make their own choices, and here's some funding that goes with that, because I just noticed in going through the budget that you're right, there's money in the economic enhancement ordinance that isn't put to work that we could put to work.
I know, it's just built in, built in,
Mhm.
built in, built. in.
Yeah.
Like,
Some of it though is the homestead rebate endowment, you know,
but no,
Health.
it's in its own thing.
okay. I thought you were including that in your number.
No, because the 11 million of unappropriated.
Well, there you
funds is
go.
not the-
We already
Hey,
get this, we already get this
Catherine,
money.
what
so
if we just did that?
If you up the percentage, you have now given us economic development money instead of having to have
So-
IGAs.
Come here.
Currently, the ordinance has 6% for Arlington, 6% for Condon, and 0.5% for the city of Lone Rock. And this is just money that's given to them as part of the
And we're
agreement.
not bound, we
No.
have a contract, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, it's for economic.
And it's for
development.
what you choose to do with it, right? As long as it ties to economic
I mean,
development.
then you wouldn't be coming in and, it'd be up to the cities, and Lone Rock
Mhm.
gets a percentage too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Maybe we'll just do that.
Is it the county's responsibility to make sure that, so if Waste Management came back and said, are you using this for, is it our responsibility to make sure that the
Mhm.
cities are using it for that?
No, because the ordinance says that it isn't.
We've never reported on it, we've offered
Mm-mm.
to report on it, but we've done before.
Yeah, I
A
think,
lot of it obviously for Paxton.
that maybe we could and just add that as a.
I mean,
what do you
it
think?
doesn't address, I don't know how the city of Arlington would feel, but I mean, we already did such a program like that when we did the thought downtown. Is we used money and then we had contracts with developers. And
Mhm.
So we started a grant program with money
Was it this money?
it was actually this money because what we did was the city of Condon came in and Arlington came in right after for a different project, but we came in and asked for 6 million, got this guy, got 3. And that was to replace old water and sewer pipes. For saving that money, we used that money, the waste management money then at $200,000 a year to fund the solid Main Street program. And we did that for 5 years. And it
Yeah.
was wildly successful. like
And-
I said.
We don't have an agreement with you on these, I don't think, on this.
It
We
just
just
makes-
hand you the money, right?
It just makes more sense to get it to the entities, and everyone, they have
Yeah.
different needs.
So-
And then we're not in this quagmire.
Yeah. City of Arlington and City of Condon each, it's budgeted for $318,000 this year
For the.
for the host fees.
Yes.
So we could just increase that for each entity.
I mean, it would take an ordinance change, but
We could take care of it the other way now with once we go through all of the steps on the ordinance, we could just amend that for the future. How's that sound?
What do they, I wonder what they usually use the
Yeah, what if-
business development line for?
Oh, that's for the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, okay.
That's the small business grants.
So if someone wanted to start a laundromat in Arlington, they could go to cheap, cost that. That's why I'm just wanting to make that point, I guess, that the chamber already offers that since enforceable businesses do go on farm with their, do start small businesses. That's in our county. I'm in support of additional funds.
So what are we gonna do with this?
Well, it doesn't seem like it seems like we are doling it out at a certain amount and not just,
75, I get 75, which.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I guess, go ahead. Any thoughts?
I think we need to send that to the legal counsel, see what they,
Mhm.
maybe pose some of the questions that
Yeah.
Catherine. Ask them,
Yeah.
are we opening ourselves up to? And is there a generic?
Are you guys wanting to change the ordinance or are you wanting to?
Well, yes, but that's not gonna happen quickly.
Okay, so then you guys could vote to just push out $200,000 each.
Yeah,
You don't need it.
right.
Let's just
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah,
And then next year, you know that you're gonna want to increase your ordinance. That's what you guys.
and I think, yes, in the future, then we can go back and increase the amounts and not. Yeah.
I already have your budget.
Mhm. So, right, and then the other thing is the city of Lone Rock. So we could include, an amount for that.
Yeah, cause they've lost, RV spot at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, time is kind of an essence, hopefully getting that property sold and developed there.
Mm-hmm. Right,
You know, so I don't know,
so we
we
could
just try to make
allocate
this happen.
200,000 for each city and an amount to be determined for the city of Lone Rock. I don't want to do any math right now. That would be an appropriate percentage. That we would earmark for incentivized development. And send the IGA to legal counsel. And then, once we get it back, share it with the city of Condon and see if they're also interested in that.
My only concern is, you guys want, I mean. You guys want to be reporting, I mean, I'm all about being accountable for what you get. So,
Yeah,
I mean, how we spent it might be something, I mean, until we get a larger percentage where we don't have to show that. It's up to you guys.
yeah, I think we should, and it could be included in the IGA, that the
Well, I think
reporting's part of it.
This kind of says, I mean, it's
Mhm.
the city, it'll go to the city, it can't be used for the down payment.
Mhm.
And there's, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought this had already went to legal counsel.
So you saying though that this 200,000 needs to go to a developer, it does not need to be used for developing projects for the city.
No, it does. This is to go to the city from us. That's what they're asking. To help incentivize somebody to come develop the property and purchase the property.
So what we were just talking about, I mean, that would be in, so this extra percentage, if you guys do raise it, will have to go to individuals. If the city will just be attached to that, what you're saying.
What I'm trying to, I think a lot of this, I would just soon increase some of the money that goes to the cities.
But-
And this doesn't come to us. The city can do whatever they want with the
Okay,
additional money.
That would be correct.
That's what I would like to see in the
In
future.
the future.
Yeah, because we spend so much time on some of these grants and then we have the grant committee and thank God for them and it's like, it just seems like it takes a lot of our time. And like I say, the entities have different needs. Here,
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of times, once they get an IGA in place, it's just like the IGA with, the soil and conservation.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in place, it just gets updated and it flows through and they come in and report how they spent the money and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
No.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's the getting it set up.
Right. And if we're gonna do it though, before we amend the ordinance, we're just gonna have to do an IGA right now and potentially one with the city, both cities.
Cause you gotta go through a process and
Yes.
hearings and
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
change that. We can't just
Right.
Oh.
Mhm.
change
No,
it.
no.
Yeah.
Gone through a hearing.
So do we want to,
So I say send this to the account, the
mhm,
attorney. And
Mhm.
then pose some of the questions that Kevin brought up and ask him, you know, if we do this with the other,
Mhm.
cities that we have in Gillum
Mhm.
County, what?
And we should potentially have this by next meeting. I mean, it seems fairly, to me, straightforward.
To Grant's point of feeding it immediately, maybe you can throw in a reimbursement clause, so if they have something that comes along in the next week and they don't want to visit. There could be reimbursement.
Yeah,
Might be overcome.
I think we should get it to legal counsel to be sure.
We just
Mhm.
we just need to make it happen.
Mhm. Yeah. The other thing I wonder too is, are they sure there's somebody that doesn't want to just go ahead and develop it? Over that piece of ground? Are we sure that, I mean,
Yeah, I
have
don't-
they tried to just go ahead and market it first? But
I-
again,
I
I don't
think
want to
it's-
get in the weeds. I have my own stuff to worry about.
I believe it's,
Property?
Go ahead.
Were you talking about our motel property?
Yeah,
So we are gonna list it for sale, but because there's an ODOT easement, it has a 30-day probationary period before we can officially list the property. We're at right now, it ends in August, I believe. And then it'll be going on the market and for sale.
okay, so we
So
would
there's
probably
nothing
have,
immediate.
yeah,
so we have a month.
right, and, you know, get this to legal counsel, get them to review it, and if it, I mean, we've already looked at it, I just didn't want to send it anywhere until I had you had a chance to look at it, to be sure we want to pursue this.
Yeah, no, just because of the ODOT easement, we can't officially market it until they have a probation to give any objections or comment or concerns.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna send it to legal counsel and come back at the next meeting for potential action. And we'll communicate with the city of Condon as well, so that you have that draft.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's develop stuff.
Yeah, let's develop, let's put this money to work. The train goes right by this property, and that train funds the funds that we're asking to spend the money from, and so.
Maybe not take anybody down there when the train's going right by there, right?
I was thinking about the train.
Cause I drove by it the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Kayla, are you still there?
Yeah,
Kayla Rayburn?
yeah, sorry, I was
Okay,
trying to
can
unmute.
you pass the message that we will be, you know, what we're doing here, going to legal counsel, we'll consider it at the next meeting if we possibly can, which would be the second meeting in July, which is the 16th in Arlington. And thank you very much. It was a good
thank you.
discussion on that. It's good. Talk things through. I was thinking about the train, and I was thinking the proximity of the train and that property, and there's Cottonwood Street, which would be to the west. And there's multiple houses there. Yeah, it's further away, but the train is pretty close to those houses too, and they must get used to it. So,
You could,
mhm,
they could build a barrier.
yeah, right. Okay,
There does have to
Um,
be an easement between the tracks and whatever we build. So it'll be on the east side of the property, most likely, whatever is built, in a parking lot closer to it. But yeah, no, you get used to it here.
good. Okay.
I kinda like it bare, cause now I can see really good when I drive through there.
Yes.
Sorry.
It is a nice, you don't have to worry about who's coming.
The trees, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, 6.4, discuss employee step increases date, Brooklyn Griffin.
You have
Do you wanna-
questions? Everything was pretty.
We just- You wanna come up? Okay.
I say that.
And I said, I told Brooke earlier, I said, thank you for doing all this work on it. I think I briefly stopped and talked to her, and it's like, I think like Brooke said, when they originally had anniversary dates and they were doing everything on paper, that, you know, it was way more of a process, and now it's like basically enter it and.
Yeah, there'd just be like certain instances, like, I guess for history, the suggestion that we're making is that an employee will receive their step increase when they receive that on their anniversary date. The way it is now is that if an employee meets their step increase mid fiscal year, they have to wait till the beginning of the next fiscal year to
Mhm.
receive that step increase. So say we have an employee that it was 1 year, middle of July this year, they have to wait until now, July of 2026 to get that step increase, not an 11-month wait. Under what we're proposing is that they would just get that step increase on their anniversary date when they've met that time.
When they met it.
And I think,
Mhm.
as Leah was saying, in the past, it was just, I could see where it could be cumbersome if you were doing things in our past system, or having to, track 14 individuals in the upcoming year that were gonna meet their step increase, but with the way that we do our increases now and our salary changes on July 1, we would just pre-enter everybody into the system with a forecasted date to change their payroll
Mhm.
when we meet. I thought that the union was gonna have to meet and discuss, but then I don't know how the union works necessarily, but they didn't have to meet with the full group. So they were able to already sign that out of the way, which we just got yesterday. I emailed that to you guys,
Mhm.
that'll come at our July 16th
Right.
meeting.
It'll
We'll have-
definitely be a benefit to the new members.
Yeah, and this is something that the union members have, requested in the past. Yeah. Do it the way, worked with previous accounts, and it was overcomplicated, so
Mhm.
we're on board.
You're on board. Okay, good. And will it impact the budget at all?
Probably because when I proposed the budget this year, it was just their step increases that they were
Right.
getting July 1.
Mhm.
The max would be like another $2,000 or $3,000 on the line item.
Yeah,
for
because
the
some people be at
entire
a
year.
disadvantage and some people would be at an advantage. Yeah, so we'll just watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shouldn't be too much.
No, it's
No.
not like they're getting, 7 step increases, it's just that next step, which is like
Right.
2% or 5%.
And I don't think there's that many that are,
I think we
I
have
know a lot of them are tenured, so.
13
That
employees that
one.
would need a needed step increase between July, yesterday, and June.
Okay, 13. How many?
69.
Yeah, 69 employees.
I think
So,
we're more than that now, 73, because we just.
73.
For the daycare system.
oh, yes, because the kids that are in the daycare system
The OICC grant
are
requires. they be under-
employees. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks for doing all the work.
Yeah, she did a good job and she got this out quickly.
It's really just an update, there's nothing to approve here, it's just for you guys to.
Oh, we're not gonna prove it yet.
Yeah,
Good,
we'll
okay.
we'll have
Okay.
a resolution at the next meeting, and then the LOA from the union that they created that'll speak to it. They will work with them, it'll be backdated to July 1, of course, but.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Brooklyn.
Okay, discuss creation of Wolf Advisory Committee. So the legislative session was just ended. Senate Bill 777 passed. It amends the program. We look back in history, and Commissioner Watkins, you might know something about this. I do think it was before your time. There was a committee formed, but it looked like it was not potentially dissolved.
Yeah.
We have wolves knocking at our door, literally. They're all around us. It's probably gonna happen if it hasn't. I don't think we've had a loss, but they're here or on their way here. And I just think,
We'll say they're here.
okay. So we need to, work on this and we're still working on the logistics. There's with other counties that have done this to get it set up. But so where is it? Okay, so the statute requires each county have an advisory committee consisting of one county commissioner, and Commissioner Watkins said she was interested in that. Two members who own or manage livestock, and then 2 members who support wolf conservation or coexistence with wolves. So we could advertise. I was
Carrie?
thinking about our conservation program too. You know what I mean? That's an idea. So, our NRCS office is involved in conservation. Potentially that maybe isn't too far of a reach, but what about this idea? What if we just put out an advertisement of those in interest and just list what we're interested in? The livestock owner, what does the statute say we need to do to fill it? And use their words, and advertise that way and just see who comes forward with interest.
Yeah.
Would that be fair? Okay. Yeah,
And
all
then
right.
we could, what if we have interest at a meeting, we could appoint members at the same time we adopt bylaws and we do it all in one list.
Okay, so bylaws have to be adopted as well, but she has those examples. We could do it all at once. So, but we could do the advertising now, get that going, and then appoint the committee and adopt the bylaws at the same time.
Now, does this advisory committee have to meet regularly
Mm-mm.
or just when they're?
Just when there's a, yes,
Weekly.
Yeah.
yeah, just when there's an
There's a
incident.
claim for reimbursement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
Okay, good. All right, so that's how we're gonna proceed with that. Announcements, we have our strategic plan calls for a roundtable once a year. That is happening July 8th. What time?
6.
6 p.m. here in the courthouse. That's coming up quickly next week, and then our next meeting, at the county court is July 16th in Arlington at 10 o'clock a.m. What else? That for meetings, that's all I have. Go ahead, Commissioner Wilkin.
June 19th, Norcore adopted the budget. Things are looking a little better there with some more revenue coming in. Of course, just finished county college.
Can I ask about that? How about the transportation funding? Did they talk about that?
Yeah, and then we showed up and they killed it that night, and I don't know. It's,
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was pretty interesting.
But I understand our 50-30-20 split is protected. Our funding, our county funding and the city road funding. I think, I
Well,
was told.
as far as I know right now,
Okay,
but
okay.
yeah.
We need to track that one, yeah.
And then I read an article, the mayor of Portland. I don't know. I thought they came back this last Tuesday with something. They
Mhm.
were trying to still do something with it, so,
Okay,
but.
Gabe Wilkins had just sent an email, like, right before the court meeting, saying, Condon is slated to still lose one employee due to the layoff components of the cuts. Mitchell is adjoining.
Condon meaning
The
Condon.
DOT,
Oh, Don?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
where this came out from.
He said it's Dan Shanahan, our ODOT District 9 manager.
Okay,
Stopped by my office today and let me know that it was between Condon and Maupin sheds to be closed in this district. Even though Condon shed was what people about him wanted closed down. Dan successfully argued to keep Condon open and
Okay.
shut down Maupin.
oh, God.
Condon is slated to still lose one employee due to the layoff components of the cuts. And then
Wow.
it goes on.
Okay, I was wondering about that, so that's too bad for Maupin, but, they're not gonna close it down. One employee, okay,
Yeah, that's what, and it has more.
and that's unfortunate, but, oh. Okay. All right, thank you, Leah.
So I told Chris earlier, I sat through our triennial review with Daleen and we gathered documents. Thank you to Brooke I know she was on fire, but she still got a lot of the stuff they needed. And we had to put it in folders and then go on to their site to download all the stuff. So we'll wait back to see what more documents they might want, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's interesting that we're reviewing ourselves, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, I can understand reviewing South Gillum Health District and their public health program and.
yeah,
but, yeah.
you're doing a self-audit.
Nobody is actually checking up on me,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, okay. Okay, EV charging. We had a meeting yesterday with ODOT. ODOT's concerned about their staffing too for the EV charging people that are working on this grant. So the background is that, Miranda Reese, when she was working here, worked on this grant application, so it's been a long time. And so, the total grant award is $925,000 approximately dollars, almost $1 million. And it would be for 2 level 2 chargers and 1 level 3 charger with 2 plugs. Level 3 is the fast chargers. They're expensive, but they're the ones, if you're gonna do it, you want. And then, the meeting we had, and some of this, I don't know the original vision because I wasn't here, but that ODOT will deliver the project on behalf of the county. We're going to be looking into that if there's an option to the county delivering the project and just receiving the ODOT funds. There are gonna be a lot of considerations if we look into that, but the problem is the agreement, if they deliver the services, they have 10 years to do this. And there is a timeline, it's just we don't have any control over how long it might take them to complete this. I don't know if there's flexibility there or not. We're gonna ask the question, but the plan is that in fall of 2027, construction would start if ODOT delivers the project. So it's gonna be a long time before we'll have it with this grant.
So meanwhile, did we do an outside charger up at the bus barn?
Okay, it's in the plan, but it wasn't in the grant. So that would be, I guess that's a question I have for you, is, do you know anything about that idea? Gillum County would be paying for that as an extra, and that would be a level 2 or maybe 2 level 2s, I think.
I think, because I think we originally discussed, because those are the cheaper ones,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Not cheap, but
Right.
less expensive.
Are we wanting to do all of it? And maybe that's not a question for today. And these can be added. There's gonna be space, it's gonna be there. It's just they're not gonna be put in right now as part of the project, I don't
Yeah.
believe. So they take, I've heard people say they take from 4 hours to 10 hours, depending to charge.
Cause there's nothing here.
But
now.
I don't.
There's one, there's one at Columbia Base. And they sit there for a long time.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
They usually have their bus.
The thing is, how long are we gonna wait? A lot of things are going through my head about this.
I'm wondering with the funding though too.
Well, okay, so there's 2 phases to this. There's the preliminary engineering phase, and then there's the construction phase. The preliminary engineering phase would go up until construction starts. It could, and that's already obligated. We have that money secure. There didn't seem to be a lot of concern about the construction phase money. It would just need to be later obligated. ODOT's most concerned about people, the jobs of the people who were trying to run these programs locally here. They don't seem super concerned about the money being available later, but it's then you're talking to one person and then all of a sudden they're not responding to your emails anymore. This has happened already with this for us. And then you have a new person who isn't up to speed, and that's just the way it's gonna be.
I would have thought they already had that lined out.
No, and they're not really
Remember,
EV
we
charging.
were like right in the middle of an election cycle too, that
Yes,
changed everything. I mean, it was like we were cooking along on
Uh-huh.
it, and then all of a sudden it was like,
right. And then also, ODOT isn't used to running a program like this. It's new for them as well. So, we would reach out multiple times last year and just couldn't get any answers on where we were at. So, yeah, so we're, I think we need to ask the questions. We need to ask, is there a way for Gillum County to deliver the services? And if we did, I know there's stringent reporting requirements, and I think there's reasons why ODOT does it, but I just need to know what those reasons are so that we could speed this up, maybe. But today, I found out that the lot was gonna be paved, and if we stopped that, we didn't know about it until like
Oh, they were,
9
yeah,
o'clock.
they were taking, tearing the concrete out this morning.
But, so then I got a phone call and I said, whoa, I don't think we can disturb the ground on that. We don't want to jeopardize this grant. But it's okay to take the concrete out. So that can be done. And I understand they're probably trying to just to make it look nicer, but if we're not gonna do anything with it, we need to be talking about what we're gonna do with the Gillum County's property.
Cause I'm thinking originally
doesn't
they
look
had
good.
the plans of the little park and then.
We talked about that
EV
too,
station.
and that will be part of this as well. We talked about that part of the landscaping. Which, yeah, we talked about what would be the easiest maintenance and how to go about that. So,
Public restrooms,
yeah,
that's a big thing.
that's true, it is.
They have a lot of time there.
So I'll report back. on
Well, I
what
think the
find out.
thought was that the people would go down and
Yeah,
while they were
Yeah.
charging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I can't speak for the city, but I think the bathroom in there is a public bathroom,
I think it is too.
probably in the library too.
Maybe. Okay, fiber project. As you heard from our fiber consultant, that the project significantly scaled back because of the federal government. But it looks like we may have an application window for the fiber on the scaled back project, sometime in July, and it's gonna be a very short timeline, and we'll be scrambling, I think, a little bit to get him the information he needs, but, we're gonna go ahead and apply. Yeah, and just see where it lands. Our match is gonna be a lot less, but, yeah, and then I think we need to, in the future, look at potentially some use in our economic enhancement ordinance of figuring out some way to come up with getting fiber to the rest of the county. And then we're gonna need to talk about how are we gonna do it? Are we just gonna do those homes that make sense? There's very, very expensive connections because of distance. But the good thing is we already have the pole agreements with Columbia Basin on the South County and also Pacific Power. That we can still use that agreement. It isn't tied to the grant, so we can, maybe get some services, but we need to have a consultant tell us this is how much it's gonna cost. If we do it by region, like say you do the Clem area or you do Mayville, what's it gonna cost? And we wanna come up with like a cost share. Okay, if you put in this amount of money, Gillum County will help you with this amount. And then there's gonna be those hard to reach areas that
So
you
there's
just aren't
only a
gonna
little
do.
portion in the South County though, isn't it, that's getting left out of it? Because Raleigh has to.
Yeah, they can't do any of South Gillum County.
Yeah.
It's all like Michael O. North.
Is there a little portion in the South that is, I
No.
was thinking there was a little.
Because
portion.
Raleigh applied for and received that grant, it disqualified South County rural from the BEAD funding.
Then I wonder, is it, and maybe I'm
Mhm.
mistaken, but I thought there was like a portion that like lies over there by, Morrow County.
Oh, yeah.
That is in Gillum County,
Yeah.
South County, but it's gonna get taken care of by
Yes,
them.
yes,
I believe.
that's my understanding, yes.
Yeah.
And he's not here, so I just was giving a little bit of an update, but just try to think about, our strategic plan says, fiber, early education, housing, how are we gonna address those things and really think about ways to do it, so. Anything else that I missed on you that we worked on? Okay.
I just wanted to check with Commissioner Watkins. I didn't know, like, with the Citizens Advisory Committee, if you wanted to continue that or have me take that role, or, because I know you've taken a lot. Okay. All right, I know you've taken on a lot, so I'll just throw it out there.
I go down there. I think I've toured like maybe 5 times since I've been on the county court.
We're working on the agreement and the planning department's working on the conditional use permit approval because December's the day. So working on that. There is that Oregon Business Commission is meeting in Pendleton on July 11th to review, hopefully approve Avangrid's SIP agreement. So it has to go through them as well. So I'm gonna go to that meeting and just see what that's all about.
So when we were on our last tour down there, Rich Harbor asked a question. If, how long would the gas be produced down there? And the, Paul said forever. So, and I didn't know if we would, are we potentially gonna have, an agreement for a portion of that?
I think it should be a
Going
separate.
forward? Once they get that up and going,
You're talking revenue from the gas.
the gas,
Yeah,
cause that's, I mean, that, when he said that, you know, it'd be forever, cause it's gonna create methane gas
Yeah.
for eternity,
Mhm.
even
yeah,
once landfill is actually closed.
something to look
So-
into. I don't think it
At
applies
least
to this
we need
agreement.
to
and
ask
it's-
the question.
Yeah. Mhm.
Cause it's, I'm sure they've spent a lot of money on those buildings.
Mhm. Yeah,
They said they were closed right now, but they said that maybe the next time we go down on tour, we would be able to go in and look inside the buildings.
Yeah.
Actually themselves.
right.
You wanna mention your hard costs.
Oh, yeah, I had the park, city park, last night. Just to make, you know, the county available. If you guys wanna take a turn, that's fine too, or just to be accessible to the public outside of the building if people don't wanna come in here. I had one person show up and we had a great conversation, and I go to the park. You know, so it was last night, July 1st in the park at 5 o'clock in Condon, and then I'll do July 3rd at 5 o'clock in the park in Arlington.
Well, hopefully it'll be cooler
Mm-hmm, yeah.
on the 3rd, cause
Mm-hmm.
it's staying hot down there in Arlington.
So, yeah. That's what I have. Is there anything else?
We guys gonna come forward with expectations for the childcare.
So how do you want to go about that? Do you want to, since you're the liaison for the childcare, that's part of the grant agreement. Do you want them to come here or do you want to communicate with them directly and report back? It's up to you.
I don't know, which you guys prefer, Carrie?
Probably that, best.
Okay. Okay,
So you have board meetings, right? Okay. I mean, would a board meeting be appropriate or?
We could do like a special session after, you know, if we want.
I don't know, just a thought.
okay, yeah, why don't I'll reach out to you or Haley and see if we can get something scheduled.
Our next board meeting is July 22nd.
July.
Okay,
That would be great.
July 20th.
What time, Carrie?
5:30.
So how's the construction going?
Going, there's foundation.
Uh-huh.
I haven't drove up by there. We have to take a drive by.
There was a lot of excitement. There was some concrete being poured, like everybody was like, I thought can.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Little hands or big hands?
We're gonna come up with something special.
oh, good. How's your additional funding going? Your for the rest of your construction?
Well, we did not get funding for the second round of this historian, so there's still a third and final round for making changes, looking at the scoring rubrics, see what we need to improve on to get past that first phase, of the scoring, to move into the second phase, which is more very high in since it's special. So, we're still seeking funding from our family foundation. We've got some community fundraisers going on, like 50 raffles, that, trying to boost community investments.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the family foundation.
Oh, yeah.
And, the new town care director or board chairman, Arlington, in their last board meeting, and we made some collaborations on fundraisers.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Good. They used to do didn't they do a golf tournament for Arlington? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you need to have like a 2-day tournament. They golf one day in Arlington, one day in Concord.
And I think
Hmm. Good, great. Good
Yeah,
to
you
hear.
gotta hand them stuff that they can just grab and go. It's been my experience.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that would be
And
great.
your fundraising that you've done for the International Club, wow. Yeah, I'm sure you can
Fireworks.
help them a lot, because you guys you're out there scrambling, doing a lot.
And, yeah,
It's good.
so our 4-wheeler rodeo is Saturday,
Okay,
if we were to have announcements.
good.
International Boat Service.
And the International Club is doing concessions, and I think, last year, we actually had a fairly good crowd in the stands, so,
Good.
yeah,
What time?
it's fun. The 4-wheeler rodeo, well, it's at noon and 1. It was supposed to be 11 and noon, but. So we'll actually be there signing people up at 11, in case that.
I'll be in the parade. Well, Joe and I will be in the parade, and I bought 600 otter pops. 600 otter pops to throw out, so, for Gillum County.
I was like, I only bought 4 bags of candy and I was downstairs and Todd had 2 cases. I was like, oh,
I saw that. Yeah, okay. If there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.